I ran across a Nancy Grace YouTube video, okay? And, you know, when it comes to Nancy Grace's coverage, there's some things, like, especially with the Idaho 4 case, that I've taken issue with. But on this topic, I agree with her. I agree with Nancy Grace.
That's weird.
That's weird. But what are we talking about? So, Rex Heuermanns' wife recently, for the first time, showed up to a court hearing of his.
Okay.
She showed up in a Mercedes-Benz. Okay, this is the woman who has a GoFundMe to support her family.
That claims she can't pay for her medical.
Yeah, who has cancer, can't pay for her own bills, like lawyers, medical stuff, whatever. Their own home. Like, she literally needs help supporting her life because they don't have enough money. All right.
That's weird.
Rolls up in a Mercedes-Benz with a camera crew following her. Interesting.
Yeah.
So what's up with the camera crew? Well, she signed a deal, and there are rumors that it's $1 million contract. She's going to be getting paid $1 million, possibly, for this, with Peacock. To do a documentary on the court process from Asa's, I guess, perspective, the court process of, you know, Rex Heuermanns' conviction. Because let's be honest, he's going to be convicted. Like,
yeah.
There's too much evidence here.
The evidence is too stacked.
I get presumed innocent till guilty, but dude, there's so much evidence here that it's like, there's no way he's not getting convicted.
My big question is anyone else going to catch any charges? That
is my question too, and that's what I want to talk about here. So she shows up to the courthouse with this Peacock documentary crew, and at one point, Rex Heuermann glances at her, and she grins at him, like smiles big. He smiles back at her. And then he walks out of the courtroom. Weird, right? Because they filed for divorce like months ago. She filed for divorce against him and seemingly hasn't supported him at all. Well, he also signed the house over in her name.
Oh, dude, then the divorce is... So I heard about the divorce.
It's image. It's all image.
It's image, and it's so she doesn't lose the kids.
Yep. Well, they're not children. They're adults.
All of them are adults?
I'm pretty sure.
Oh, okay. Well, never mind. Then it is just image. And I wonder if it's so the bank accounts don't get locked up then. Because normally you have to worry about kids, or you have to worry about the bank accounts getting locked up, or you have to worry about something like that.
Yeah, so Victoria, the daughter is 26, Christopher, 33.
Okay,
son.
Yeah, I'm way.
Yeah,
I'm
they
mixing cases, yep.
Yeah, they are not children.
Yep, gotcha.
They are full-on adults that still live with their parents, I guess. But, anyway... So, yeah, they exchange grins and glances, and we have some statements from her lawyer that she was, like, emotionally ready to finally see him in court, that she was anxious and wanted to see him in person, and this comes after she actually went and spent an hour with him in jail. And it was the first time they had seen each other since his arrest.
I wonder if it's the first time they've talked, though.
Oh, no. She had phone calls with him before. Okay. But she goes and sees him in jail, and they spend an hour together. And then she shows up to the court hearing. And he... Okay... Basically, one of the lawyers says that she doesn't think he's capable of these crimes. That she believes he's innocent. That he didn't do it. Then why'd you file for divorce?
Yeah. I don't know if the divorce has any play on his guilt. I don't think so. I think that it could be a way to save herself financially. Because remember, okay, if they're married and she gets paid $1 million by Peacock, he's still half owner of that. The feds can lock it up. If she files for divorce, that's no longer the case. So I think it's just about money.
I agree with you. Okay. So Nancy Grace had on John Ray, Gilbert's attorney, who we heard the
Mr.
new...
Snazzy Pants.
Yeah, Mr. Snazzy Pants, who we heard the new witness affidavits and testimonies from, basically claiming Asa was in the home when Karen Vergata was there. And it sounds like there's multiple witnesses that are saying, like, there's even a situation where supposedly Asa got upset that one of the prostitutes that Heuermann brought to the home stole like an iron for ironing clothing, and she got mad and made everyone get out of the car and searched the car and stuff. And so clearly there's evidence that she was aware of his little secrets of, or whatever, having prostitutes over. Literally having prostitutes over and swinging and everything else. And, you know, they talk about how, you know, she wasn't a battered woman, because that was basically the argument. Like, they're kind of going back and forth. Nancy Grace, I think, agrees with John Ray, but she was also trying to play the devil's advocate a lot, and saying, well, because I think that's important. Like, we try to do that here, play the devil's advocate, and that actually legitimizes a lot of things more. Like, if you're believing one thing, if you play devil's advocate and go down the other line of thinking, the opposing line of thinking, sometimes you end up legitimizing that line of thinking originally. Yeah. Which I feel like is what she did in this. She ended up legitimizing the idea that Asa full well knew, aided and embedded, and maybe even participated in Rex Heuermann's extracurricular activities.
It's very possible. I didn't realize who she was until we went through the new statements. Since I have since heard the new statements, like, okay, for anybody that maybe didn't pick it up or watch those videos or whatever, she was essentially could have been, okay, there's nothing that confirms this, like a mail order bride. And she depended 100% for her staying in the U.S., having money, having health care, having a life, food, water, and safety and shelter on Rex.
Yep, absolutely. She totally depended on him.
Fully and totally depended on him for everything to bring her over to the U.S. Dude, that is a lot of leverage and power for a person to have over another.
Absolutely.
Like that, the whole mail order bride thing is like, it's always made me worried, because I feel like that is like prime criminal setup, dude.
Oh, I agree with you.
To mistreat somebody that's brought over here or force your will on them. Was Asa really okay with this, or did she feel like she didn't have a choice?
Yeah, that's a good point to bring up. Maybe that's the case, but I think John Ray brings up some good points that, you know, since the beginning of all of this in the media, you know, finding out about Rex Heuermann's arrest and everything, Asa has never shown any compassion for anybody but Asa, which is, I agree with that. Like, in everything we've seen of her, like, the only time you see anything that's, like, empathetic or compassionate is when she announces she has breast cancer and she wants compassion for herself. Yeah. She has not shared any condolences about the family or the victims, which
that's strange, too, the health announcement.
The health announcement is strange. Yeah. And obviously, you can lie about that. People can't go and confirm that. Nobody can go in and look at your health records to confirm you have cancer.
I mean, she could also have a non-cancerous growth even and just be using that. There is a lot of different things you can do. I'm not trying to say that she's doing that. I'm just saying that in the past, people have done those things. So if someone has done it in the past, it can be done again.
Yeah. And I have to say, the way she rolled up to court, the way she was looking and everything, it doesn't look like a cancer patient yet, anyway. I don't know how far she is into that stuff, but it doesn't look like that yet.
Yeah.
She supposedly has breast cancer, then why hasn't she had surgery? She isn't missing a boob or anything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, man. But, you know, John Ray goes on to talk about how there were four hairs of hers found on 3 of the victims' bodies, and 1 even in the belt. Like a place where it has to get under it. Like it's not just like it fell off his clothes. Yeah. It wasn't just laying on top. Right. It was like stuck in a belt. You know, that witness statement with Karen Vergata, Asa was sitting upstairs in this tiny little house, and Vergata was up against a window naked and came out running and yelling, and Rex Heuermann was burning stuff in the backyard. Like, and she's there.
Yeah.
Like, you're telling me she's just blissfully unaware of all of this?
Yeah. I hear you. I think there's some serious questions that need to be answered.
John Ray goes as far as to say that she's like a sociopath, and that it's weird because Rex Heuermann's made a ton of money with his job, and he's like, but where is it all? He said they are high risk takers. He said he has some kind of sources that they were gamblers, that they lived high risk in all ways pretty much. They were gamblers, and he's a serial killer. And basically that's where all the money goes.
Yeah. That is some wild stuff, man.
Yeah.
Wild. And the more I see, because this is a rock solid case, you guys. I've heard people try and throw like conspiracy ideas like, oh, well, it's too perfect. The FBI is involved and you need to look at like the details of this evidence. I have. And I haven't looked at every piece because the arrest warrant is 1,200 pages plus, okay? I haven't read all 1,000 pages, but the evidence I have looked into, the electronic evidence, the cell phone evidence, and then his triangulation evidence of connecting him with the locations of the crime with his personal cell phone being in relation to the burner phone, like, that is rock solid.
Yeah.
If you're ever in a place that triangulation is going to work, you guys, and you can't compare New York State triangulation to Moscow, Idaho, there's a ton of cell phone towers versus none. Cell phone triangulation in the state of New York will be amazing evidence.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. And the area they lived in, it wasn't the middle of nowhere. It was populated, yeah. Yeah, so it's Long Island. Like, there's going to be a bunch of towers around there.
Why would she roll up in a Mercedes?
Dude,
I would roll up in a mega beater. Like the most beater car of the most beater car. Unless it was the documentary cruise. Then I feel a little bit different.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Was she by herself in that car, or were they in there with her, and was she riding in the back? I haven't seen the footage yet, so I don't...
I haven't seen any footage.
Oh, okay, okay. It's just statement. Got it.
It's statements. It says, the New York Post reported that Asa Ellerup arrived at the courthouse in Mercedes along with a Peacock documentary crew, and it appeared to take several court officers to hold reporters back. I'll look for a video and see if we can find one to show on the screen. But yeah, it was Michael Brown who said that she doesn't believe he committed these acts or is capable of committing these acts, and that she wants to see this trial play out in court, not the media.
Yeah, sorry, but this is 2023. It's going to play out in the media. There's no way around it. I hate hearing people say stuff like that. I really hate it. We are in a new age, so there's one of two things that need to happen. One, the courts need to catch up with the transparency of electronics and put a camera in every courtroom. Or two, go like a lot of the European countries have gone and not allow names until convictions occur, and keep all things out, where the media gets in big trouble in Europe if they post names. You are not allowed to do that until conviction.
Yeah, but that takes away a lot of transparency, don't you think?
I don't think so.
No.
I don't need to know who the suspect is. I need to know that the investigation was done right, so I have a country I can believe in. Leave the name out. I don't care. I never needed to know Bryan Kohberger's name.
That's a good point. If you have all of the investigation, you should get a pretty good beat on the character of that person without even needing to know their name.
I mean, you could get their full character background. Imagine all the details we got of Bryan Kohberger, and it instead of Bryan Kohberger, all the documents say man X went to cop training school from this year to this year. Man X got kicked out of school from, you know what I mean? Man X went to WSU for this. It doesn't change anything.
Yeah.
Show the evidence without Kohberger's name and man X. The evidence will still be the same.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point. And I have found it interesting, and I've pondered if not sharing the names is a good idea anyway, because like mass shooters, serial killers, they become notorious and like famous, and they're not who's important. It's the victims that are important. It's you don't want them glorified to other potential killers. Dude, because that's Brady. What happens. They become glorified and heroes to other people who want to commit similar acts.
Like Brady.
Brady?
Yep. I'm having an ADHD moment right now.
Okay, that's okay.
Yeah.
But one interesting point that I wanted to bring up that I saw John Ray brought up and Nancy Grace, they talked about it, and I also saw another lawyer bring it up, and is the fact, so you know about marital privilege, right?
Yep.
That like if you're married and one of you goes down for a crime, the other one doesn't have to testify towards you in court or whatever.
Yep.
Well,
correct.
Nancy Grace said actually it applies to the suspect, the person being charged. They can claim marital privilege, not the partner who's not charged. So if they bring her to court and they ask her questions, he can object and be like, marital privilege.
Yep.
But if she disseminates information on her own in this documentary, marital privilege can be violated and no longer apply. And the
basically,
court...
if she says it, then the prosecution can bring it up. Yeah.
Yes. And they believe the court is going to be requesting any and everything Asa says to these crews, producers, anybody, handwritten notes, literally any bit of information that comes from her in this process, text messages, emails, anything. They're going to be like requesting it and using it.
Yeah, and I would expect so. Yep.
So there's, people going around saying maybe this could actually be a good thing against her and Rex Heuermann.
Very possible, yeah.
But I wonder, is she milking the cash cow right now?
Oh, yes.
Because that's what everyone...
Absolutely.
Some victims' families are very upset, and I understand why. I totally get it. John Ray feels the same. Nancy Grace feels the same, that they together, Rex Heuermann and Asa, are literally just concerned with profit right now. Like, they are milking the cash cow, the victims.
Yeah, I agree they are.
That's disgusting.
I agree. I agree.
Honestly, I don't know that it's... I feel like maybe this shouldn't be allowed. And I honestly feel like Asa was cleared too quickly. I understand maybe there's proof of her not being in town for those 4 victims specifically. But what about all the rest?
Isn't it really convenient she was out of town for those 4 and all 4 have her hair?
It's too convenient.
I know.
It makes you question if it's even true.
I agreed.
Like, how did they confirm that she was out of town?
Yep. I agree.
So,
interesting.
I mean, the fact that 4 of her hairs are on the bodies, the fact that she seems like she doesn't really give a crap about the victims, that she's willing to make money off of them, that she filed for divorce, was having such a hard time with all this, had cancer, and now all of a sudden Rex Heuermann signs the home over in her name, and they're exchanging smiles and glances, and she's doing this documentary, pulling up in a Mercedes-Benz after she had a GoFundMe page.
Yeah.
Like, all of these things combined, and she...
are strange.
And she is strange. Her behavior is strange.
Right, I know.
I feel like there's a serious... possibility she was involved in these crimes.
I agree.
And before...
there's some kind of disconnect there.
Yeah, before I was totally against that idea.
She really could be battered. It doesn't change that there needs to be accountability. Because loss of life happened. We don't know how long it took for her to get on board with conform. Rex. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, I don't know.
But yeah, I want to know what you guys think. If you have any theories on what's going on there, do you think Asa had anything to do with it? Are you okay with the family of a serial killer making money off a documentary before he's ever been convicted? And many victims haven't even been connected to him yet. That's what I'm waiting for. When is he going to get charged with a bunch of the other, like Shannon Gilbert and the other woman? When is he going to get charged with those finally? And Karen Vergata.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because I feel like there's a lot of clear connections there.
I agree with you. I agree with you, but cases take a while.
They do.
So
they do.
There's only speculation for now.
Yep.
But let us know what you guys think.